Hey guys, it's Danielle and I am jumping on to share with you the album that I'm using for my Project Life for 2017 and to also do a quick sort of album share of the completed weeks because I have not done process videos for all of those, so sort of just getting you guys caught up on this album. And then at the end of this video I'm going to have a fun giveaway, so be sure to stick around for that. All right, before we get too far into this, I did want to apologize if the lighting's not quite great and there's a lot of shadowing and things like that. It's winter where I live and the days are gloomy, and this is sort of as good as it gets for me, but I think that it'll be okay. So as you can tell, the album that I decided to go for is this white one that I purchased from scrapbook.com. It's a Becky Higgins Project Life brand scrapbook, and my biggest concern when ordering this album was that I didn't want it to be like a creamy white or a vanilla white. I wanted it to be white, and I was just holding off purchasing it for the longest time. And then I saw a review where a gal had said that the thing that she liked about this album was that it was a true white. So I decided to go for it, and when I got it in the mail I was pleasantly surprised. It is a true white and I love it. I've ordered a couple of them because I do about 2 albums a year, so the 2 albums should get me through 2017. Alright, so this album came with a sheet lifter like they always do. Now it's been a long time since I've purchased an album, and all of my other albums have black sheet lifters, and I think this one's a little bit more cute, so I was happy about that. It also came with this envelope, and I've seen these before, but I've never actually purchased them or had them. And so I don't know what I'll use this for or if I'll use it, but I'm just gonna sort of let it live right here until I figure that out. Now, as you can tell, I have not done my title page, and to be honest with you, I have several albums, Project Life albums, that don't have title pages done. It's just not something that I immediately think about, so then they kind of never get done. And that's frustrating to look back on those albums, so I definitely want to do this in probably this month, just so that I can get it done. My plan is to just get a picture of my husband, me, my daughter, probably our cat, and some appropriate cards about the start of the year, new beginnings, our story matters, those type of things. So when I get that done, I'll let you take a peek at it. Alright, so as you can tell, my album's just a little bit big for my shot here, but I think it'll be okay. You can get a pretty good idea of what it looks like. Now, this is my first week of the year. I will be honest, I struggled so much through the month of January because I was getting used to working in a bigger album. As a lot of you know, I did 6x8 album last year, so adjusting to 12x12 again was rough. So I feel like I've got a good grip on it now, and I've kind of gotten used to the photos that I need to take, but the month of January was rough. This was a good week, and that was partly because I always talk about my one little word for the first week, so that sort of took up a chunk. And then my brother and my husband do the polar bear plunge every year, and I usually take a picture of that. It's where on New Year's Day they run and jump in the lake. It's crazy, but especially this year because we had so much snow. But so I usually talk about that. So I really only had a small portion that I had to deal with, so that ended up working out okay. And then my brother had surgery this week, and so that sort of took up a good portion of it too. So this week wasn't too bad, but you will see in the following weeks where I struggle a little bit. Now, during my Project Life or throughout the year, I will mostly use these Design A page protectors. They're just the ones that I'm used to, and they're the ones that are easiest for me, so I will mostly use those, but I do like to mix it up a little bit, and you will see that. Also, another sort of piece that I use every week are these title cards. This year I purchased them, they're Paisley Press title cards, and I purchased them from the Lily Pad. It's a digital product that I just print out, and I will link to those down below. Now, during this first week, I did sort of a hodgepodge of products. I used some Felicity Jane, I used some of my stash, I used some Allie Edwards, just sort of mixed and matched and did colors that I thought went with my photos, and overall I'm pretty happy with it. All right, week 2, I just did one side was the Design A page protector, and then I did an 8.5 by 11 page protector for this side. I used my Felicity Jane Sophie kit for this week, and I love the way it turned out. Whenever I do something different, like a full page protector, I usually use that opportunity to showcase a story that I really like or a photo that I really like. And for week 2, this was just the highlight of the week as my daughter moved into her big bed, her big girl bed. She was no longer in a toddler bed. And to be honest, this should have happened so long ago, but the toddler bed in her room just fit. All of the furniture looked pretty, and I didn't want to disrupt the flow of things by putting a big bed in there, which I know is a super silly reason, but it was time. She was growing out of her toddler bed and she needed this big bed, and she was so happy. I love it. So I just tell about that story here, and then just a few other highlights of the week. So week 3, I was really struggling. You can see this is probably my tiniest week I've ever done. But for this side of, these are basically the 3 photos that I had to work with. So I took my favorite one and I blew it up to 8.5 by 11 and I just plopped it into the sleeve. And then I took my title card and cut it into a banner and stuck it on there, just super simple. And I love photos like this in my project life too. They're some of my favorites. So this is just a picture of my brother and my daughter. We had stopped by his house after dance class one week, and he was playing video games, and of course she wanted to play too, so he gave her a controller and let her play. You know, she wasn't really doing anything, but she thought she was, and she loved that she got to play games with Uncle Shay. And then I just took 2 other shots, my daughter's yearly checkup with her doctor, and then a date night that we had went on. Those, and like I said, these were basically the pictures I had, and these were the highlights of the week, so it kind of all worked. But then I just took a Felicity Jane stamp that said the little things, and I just wrote a summary of our week on this white card. And I don't know that you can tell, but I layered white on white with this card, and then this is another layer as well. And in person you can see all those layers really well, but I don't know how well they pick up on camera. But I love that look of just simple white on white layering. It's probably my favorite. And normally I would stitch around this to bring out those layers even more and, you know, stitch across this, but my sewing machine was broken this week, and so I couldn't do that. I could go back and stitch on it, but I probably won't. All right, so week 4, I did something a little different as well. All the photos, or I should say most of the photos that I took were not very good quality, and so I decided to keep them all small and turn them all black and white. So I decided to do this grid, and I used an Allie Edwards number stamp, and I stamped numbers on all of these photos, and then I took these 2 pockets and did number stamps as well to write about each of the photos, and I called that week done. So this week is a week that I did a process video for. So most of you have probably seen this. If you haven't and are interested, you can find that in my videos. This week I used a Felicity Jane kit. It was the London kit, and I was so excited to get this kit, and so I definitely had to do a screenshot of the kit from the Felicity Jane shop and talk about that. But other than that, I am at this point starting to take better photos. I'm at least thinking throughout the week, what photos do I want to take for Project Life, and so I was happy with the photos that I had this week. Week 6, I am back to design a page protectors, and it was this week that I decided to stop overthinking everything, and I just decided, okay, print off 7 photos, put them in the 4x6 slots, and put your journaling cards and filler cards in, and don't overthink it. And that is exactly what I did. And this is probably one of my favorite weeks, just because it just came together, and this is probably when I really started to get comfortable with the new size and had enough pictures. I think because I was thinking more about the pictures I was taking during the week, and I stopped overthinking it. So the products I used this week are from One Little Bird, and it just turned out great, I think. All right, week 7 is the last week in this album, and this was Valentine's Day week. These are my daughter's Valentine's Day cards that she got from her class, so I just put them in here. And I approached this week the same way I approached week 7, just print out 7 photos, put the cards in, and call it a day. But I went a step further this week. I put some embellishment on my photos, which I was not necessarily planning on doing that. It just worked out. And then I wrote on some of my photos as well. I wrote on this one first, and then I decided that I needed to write on other ones. So I wrote on this one down here. And then, I don't know if you can totally see it, but I wrote on this photo right here. I used a lot of Ali Edwards products for this week, and then a couple One Little Bird as well. All these little elements right here are One Little Bird. So this is my week 7, and that pretty much gets me up to date. So I have a few title cards in here ready for weeks 8 and 9 waiting for me, and I'm just excited to get this project going. I don't know if you've seen my other videos where I was having a hard time really deciding what album to use, but I'm in the groove now, and I'm super excited about this. So now that I've got you caught up on that, I have an exciting giveaway that I wanted to show you. Most of you know that I am a huge fan of the Felicity Jane kits, and I have been for what seems like forever. Now, I am on the creative team now for Felicity Jane, but before that, I was actually a subscriber to these kits, and in all that time, I've never received a kit that I haven't absolutely loved. So I knew that I was going to love the February kit, but what makes the February kit even more special is it's the London kit. And some of you may know that my daughter's name is London, so I was beyond excited to get this kit. And when it came in the mail, I showed my daughter the kit, and I showed her how on the bottom of all the paper it had her name, and she loved that. And a few days later, she had came to me and said, "Mom, can I have my London papers?" And I wasn't going to give her my paper, so I just got on and ordered an extra paper pack so that she could have her own set of London papers. And when I did that, I decided to actually order a second kit so that I could do a giveaway on my channel. So that's what we're doing today. So if you've wanted to try a Felicity Jane kit, now is the time. Since this is a special thank you to my subscribers, you'll need to be a subscriber to my channel, and you'll also need to just jot down a quick note below telling me what your favorite part of the Felicity Jane London kit is. I will choose a winner in a week, so next Wednesday, the 1st, oh, that's my birthday, so that will be perfect. I couldn't have planned it better. So next Wednesday, the 1st, I will get on and I will draw a winner for this London kit. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you back very, very soon. All right, bye-bye.